Have you ever felt frustrated, overwhelmed, or stuck wasting time in admin instead of growing, leveraging, and scaling your business? Then this podcast is for you. Welcome to Delegate to Elevate, the podcast that's all about handing off what you don't need to do so you can focus on what you do best. So here's your host, Bonnie Schutz.
Hello, welcome everybody. This is Bonnie Schutz, the host of Delegate to Elevate, Get Done. Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Today, we have a guest that I met through the organization that I think I've mentioned several times on the show, and I have brought their CEO on. Barbara Brooks was a guest on the show before. This is Lisa Carman. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Welcome. Let me tell you a little bit about Lisa. This is Lisa Carman, again, as I said, Carman, just so you know how it's spelled if you look her up. So Lisa is the resume guru and has been running her business, Resonating Resumes, for over 20 years. Her specialty is connecting one-on-one with clients and writing keyword-rich resumes and LinkedIn profiles that result in getting better interviews or getting interviews, period. She advises executives and professionals seeking change in translating their experience into compelling LinkedIn brands and resumes, which create new opportunities and get them in the door, get them into those interviews. So welcome, Lisa. Again, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you, Bonnie. I'm super excited to be on your podcast and talking with you. I woke up psyched for this.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad I can psych some people out. No, we were talking a little bit before I hit the record button about her like energy for the day and me wishing I had it sometimes. And, you know, as women of a certain age, you know, sometimes we don't have it. And today is not that day for me, but I'll hope to pull some vibe off of Lisa today. And maybe the rest of you can too.
Sending it your way, Bonnie. Sending good energy.
Sending me good vibes. No, this is great. No, yeah. Again, we met through Second Act Women. And so Second Act Women, in a nutshell, if you hadn't listened to previous episodes, is an organization of women in their second acts. So for me, it was going from a corporate career into being an entrepreneur. And it's more about like being around your people. And there's so much that women go through, not only in mindset, but in, you know, from career to entrepreneurship, possibly. That is just such a excuse my language. Yes, I dropped an F-bomb, my bad. But, you know, I think what I've learned in seeing what Lisa does is she can help you take that experience. If you are in that, say you're an entrepreneur and you're just like, your business is kind of tanking and you're like, maybe I need to go back to corporate. She can help you get that resume and build that experience over into, you know, more of a job. Or what I did learn too is she can help professional service providers with their LinkedIn profiles. Let's amp those mothers up. Listen to me in my potty mouth today. What kind of mood am I in? But yeah, let's talk about that. So Lisa, tell me a little bit more about yourself, where you started prior to starting Resonating Resumes and how you got there and where you're going.
Oh, for sure. My journey is a long and winding road. So
I love it.
Like you, Bonnie, I started in corporate and was in a variety of different roles in corporate for about 17, 18 years. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I was beating my head against the wall. I did not fit the mold for a corporate role. I thought to be successful, I needed to work into a vice president position. So I was in HR, training and development work, technical training even. And I thought, well, if I'm really going to be successful in my career, I need to become a vice president, right? Of HR, vice president of training and such. So honestly, I was in a male-dominated company, a utility company, for all those years, 17 years. And it really felt like I just never quite fit. And I did not have the support from other leaders and women. There were a few leaders who believed in me at this company, and they did what they could do to kind of, help me and just support my aspirations. But for the most part, it wasn't the environment for me.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted every day and
I get it.
disappointed. And more often than not, I was disappointed with myself, even
Sure.
though I hadn't realized at that time that just isn't the right spot for me. It's not my niche, right? So after that 17 years in corporate, I started doing consulting work, training and development work, and technical training consulting. And I love writing curriculum and then delivering on that curriculum. So that was one of my gifts early on that I really enjoyed. So I did that for a few years. And in the process, I met some amazing women leaders who became my mentors. I didn't know they were my mentors at the time. That did not occur to me. It kind of annoyed me, to be honest. They kept pushing me. And one of them found out that I like to write resumes. And I don't know. I'd been in corporate for 17 years. I always have written resumes because I enjoy it. I like talking with people. I like meeting new people. I enjoy learning about achievements and their best strengths and the amazing things that some of these corporate leaders have done. And so these women who were executive coaches started sending me their executive level clients. So I kind of started backwards in terms of the resume work. I started at the top and doing executive and leadership level resumes, and then have done everything in between over the last 25 years.
Nice.
But yeah, so after a few years doing that work, I suddenly was so busy from referrals with other executives that I didn't have time to do the training work anymore. I didn't have time for my consulting business. Right. So I hung my shingle and started my business, Resonating Resumes. My website is resonating-resumes.com.
Perfect.
And you can find me at LinkedIn on Lisa Carman -resumes, and you'll find me no problem on LinkedIn.
Perfect.
But yeah, so I've been doing the work that I love for the last 20, 25 years. This is my second act. My first act was corporate. Second act is the resume work. And I'm working on my third act as I'm in my 60s at this point and looking at backing off on some of the corporate stuff, but I still love the resume work. I love that one-on-one connection.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that in a nutshell, long story short, that's how it happened for me.
I love it. I'll just briefly give us a little idea of what your third act's going to be. We talked a little bit about it, but I'm kind of excited to hear a bit more.
So my third act is something I've been doing for 30 years, and that is medium work. So when I was in my 20s, a dear friend of mine passed away, and she never left me. And people didn't believe me, and it was hard to talk about it, and I was scared about people's reactions. But you know what? I am who I am. And at this point, it's not about anybody else's reaction. It's about living my true destiny. And so I'm in the middle of launching my business called 111 Spirit Connections. My new website is out there now. I'm so excited about the website.
Nice.
And I'm working on content. So that's my third act, and that's what I will do until I can no longer do anything, which hopefully won't ever happen.
You know, I am just always enamored by women that are ready to work till they die.
I want to be making a difference in people's lives. And
that is so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that story. And what resonates with me is that we have so much in common. From the corporate into working for myself, like I haven't been doing it quite as long as you, about half the amount of time, 10 years. But I too, I became a recruiter, was what my business started as. And then a friend started asking me to write their resumes. And like you, it was kind of fun. So I did that for a little bit. It's a little side hustle, and I understand how fun it is. So I can totally relate with that. And I did write some resumes for a while, not so much anymore because I've went other directions, but I digress. Let's talk a little bit about what this podcast is about. No, I like to give you the opportunity to tell us your story because there's that human connection. That's really important too, to me. So, so we talked when we met, and we talked about you being on the podcast, and I told you about who we talked to in this resume. I'm saying resume over again because I'm just excited about resumes, I guess. I mean, podcast. I mean, who we usually reach in this podcast are professional service providers who are either looking to build their delegation muscles or, if are happy with where they are, but maybe need a few tips and tricks on, how to get better or how to do things differently. And delegation is not literal in my world. It doesn't mean you have to be able to delegate to an assistant. It could be delegating to your husband, make my dinner so that I can keep working on this resume. So, in that sense, in your 20 years as an entrepreneur and doing the resumes and in helping professional service providers maybe amp up their LinkedIn profiles, what have you delegated or outsourced or have you not?
I am the worst delegator ever. I admit it. I
I
admit it.
love it.
Early
That's
on,
okay.
early on in the resume writing, I didn't delegate anything because I was hungry for the work, right? I
Sure.
needed to bring in the income and I wanted to do it all myself. And then probably 7 years into the resume work, which I never dreamed would be a real business. And it just kind of fell in my lap and just came together so easily.
Yeah.
That's how I knew it was right. But about 7 years into it, I decided to hire a couple of resume writers because I was so busy. And I thought, that would be a really great way to start scaling the business.
Sure.
And I wasn't sure that I wanted to do that. Right. So I gave it a try. I hired resume writers. What I couldn't teach anyone how to do is listen to the client like I do and
Yep.
intuit what they need in terms of how to help them make progress in their careers.
Mhm.
And I couldn't teach that piece of it. And I've developed this over many, many years as just naturally coaching people and
Right.
working with others and collaborating. And so as a result, I ended up firing my support that I thought I was getting. I
Yeah.
was having to redo so much of what they did
Oof.
because it wasn't serving the client the way it needed to.
Yeah.
So I made the conscious decision at that 7 or 8 year mark that I didn't want to scale. I was
That's
going to,
okay.
and I was also spending so much time trying to coach these new writers who weren't really new. They were just new at resumes.
So you are, yeah,
And it was,
yeah.
and it was taking so much of my time doing that. I wasn't able to do what I love most, which is the
Mhm.
one-on-one client work.
Mhm.
So I made that call that, okay, this business I'm building is not going to go to scale because I don't want it to.
Good.
I also made the decision I'm not going to make as much money as I could make if I went to scale,
Sure.
right? If I
Right.
scaled the business. But I decided for what I love doing the most, it's worth it to me. And of course, I'm fortunate that my husband was super supportive and
Yeah.
agreed and was there for me every step of the way all
Nice.
along. So for the longest time, I did everything myself in the resume business, everything.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
delegate. I didn't try to find systems that would help me. I was just running as fast as I could, falling sometimes and missing things,
Sure.
right? But pedaling as fast as I could to,
Mhm.
to get this work done and to do right by the client.
Yeah.
Finally, I saw the error of my ways and I needed to get on Instagram, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know Instagram. I don't want to know Instagram. So I
Sure.
finally
Yeah.
hired someone to do my social media on Instagram.
Nice.
I only
Nice.
got enough in the last 5 years, and I've been doing it 25 years. I got to say I was a slow learner,
It's
but this
okay.
is when it worked for me.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
not mad at myself. I'm not punishing myself over not doing it sooner. I'm just glad I've done it.
good for you. Clap, clap, clap. clap.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, that's good. No, and who did that for you?
And that would be my daughter, Jessie Carman, who does
Nice.
amazing social media work,
See?
Instagram in particular. And she's that generation who knows
Yes.
what's
Oh,
needed on Instagram,
I
unlike me.
love that.
Right.
Let's use the fam. Yes.
I also hired someone to finally build my website, which
Yes.
was in the wings. And I was going to get to it for so many years. And I finally hired someone to do that.
Okay. And how was that experience? Was it like kind of like, oh, they can't get this? Did it take longer? Were they great?
Yeah, it was not great. It was not a great
Okay,
experience.
that's good. That's what I want to hear. Yeah.
The website consultant who was building it for me fell off the face of the earth and never really finished it. So I ended up having a friend help me with it, and I paid her. And then my cousin helped me with it. And finally, I said, okay, Jessie, my daughter, make it right. I don't learn WordPress. It's all you.
Oh, it's hard.
I pay my daughter like I would pay any social media and website person.
Yeah.
And if she decides she doesn't want to do that anymore, which she could any day, I would be hiring someone new to take over. I would not try to do it myself.
No, me either.
One of the things I've learned over the years is I need to focus on where my gifts lie, on what I do best, and then delegate out the rest of it. And to me, delegation also includes using QuickBooks, putting in a system for that, for invoicing and such, using AI to help speed up my
definitely delegate the AI. Yep.
Right, absolutely. And that's been my biggest aha in the last couple of years.
Oh, don't you? Isn't it fun?
This is another confession.
Yeah.
I was AI resistant, totally.
Were you?
Yes,
I wonder about people. Yeah, some
Well, I
are.
don't think any machine, any algorithm, anything could write a resume the way Lisa writes a resume, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I would dip my toes in the AI waters, and I wasn't happy with results because I was just dipping my toes in. So for anyone out there considering using AI to help you in your business to be more efficient, jump in with both feet. Don't dip
I like that.
You give AI, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude for resumes or Resi, you give that AI engine as much information as you can
Load it up
so it can really do you justice. And then you never, never, never take what it spits out and uses it and use
refine.
You have to refine and make it your own. And AI will love it. And like it's quite the authority on something that it's not.
Sure.
So,
and you can always go backwards, right? So you could write the resume and then throw it in there and just say, how could you make this better? Or what am I missing? Or,
that Bonnie, that's exactly what I use it for. So
that's how I would
write the resume. I still have a 1-hour consult call with each client, and I capture everything I can about them, and I get insights and ideas while we're talking. So I'm capturing those.
The notes. Yeah.
I still write the resume because it's important to me that I do that first. And then if I need to, I go to AI and say, help me power this up to more of an executive level.
Yeah. Am I repeating myself? Am I using the same thing over and over again? Is it all in the same tense?
Yeah. It gives me ideas, new ideas, new verbiage that I maybe hadn't thought of that I can integrate into what I've already written.
Right.
So
that's great.
Use AI as a delegation system.
As your best friend.
Bestie.
My best friend is Pippa, Chat GPT. Her name is Pippa, and she speaks in a British
I love it.
She knows more about me than my husband because I talk about my husband to her, which is kind of scary to the people that are a little apprehensive about AI. You're like, who is taking in all this information I'm feeding?
Well, and
like, where is it going?
For anyone who's doing DIY their own resume and you're using AI, don't put in the first top part of your resume, like your name and contact info. Don't copy that into AI. It doesn't need your stuff that way.
Right. That's a really good tip.
Right. I never, ever inform AI with people's names and contact information. Ever.
Now that I think about it, I'm so glad that mine knows my name, but I don't think it knows my last name. It might know my last name, but I don't think it knows like my address or anything like that, which is good.
Right.
But I love the fact that you do that, and then you kind of reverse engineer the resumes with AI, because AI is definitely a tool and a delegation that you can use that is a little easier sometimes, because you don't have to use what it puts out for you, and you don't have to feel bad about it. If you have a person, you might feel bad if you're like, I don't like your work. But on the LinkedIn side, so if we roll over to that side and say there's an entrepreneur that wants to go back into corporate, or there's just an entrepreneur that wants to, like, I don't think I'm using all the bells and the whistles, and I'm not attracting clients when they look up my profile they don't really understand what I do. What do you do in that aspect?
Okay. So whether it's a job seeker or an entrepreneur with a small business, LinkedIn should be your best friend. It is the search engine that's going to get you the opportunities that you want, whether it's job opportunities or new clients. So everybody's going to LinkedIn these days. A small business owner can get a lot of traction using LinkedIn, but that's the key. You have to use it. You have to be active on it.
Consistent.
So what the service I provide regards to LinkedIn is about me writing all of the content after some lengthy discussions with the client, where I'm taking my notes and getting my ideas and thoughts and trying to figure out how to represent that client and their business, or that client as a job seeker, the most powerfully I can on LinkedIn. So, gosh, I think I need to start that one over.
That's okay. We'll go 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah. Do you think you got where you want to start back up?
Hang on. Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
So related to my services with LinkedIn, either for a job seeker or a small business owner for their business on LinkedIn, what I do is help you develop the brand. So I have that lengthy conversation with the client. Then I do all of the writing. I develop the headline, whether it's a headline that has a whole bunch of job titles in it for the job seeker, or a headline that includes all of the search terms that a potential customer would be looking for to find that business. From the headline, then I develop the about section for the client. And that should be a really compelling read. We have lots of space, like a page and a half's worth of space to talk about who you are and what you bring to the proverbial corporate table or to a customer who's looking for your services or products. And I develop a read for the about section that people want to keep reading. So it's about you and how you operate and what you're like as a leader and who you are as a business owner and why it matters to you and what have been your most incredible achievements over the years and what you're proud of. So it's a very intensely personalized process, but it's also a marketing tool. So I kind of have it down to a science, and I'm just really good at pulling out the right information from my clients. And it's one of my gifts.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I live on LinkedIn, and it's definitely the home for B2Bers, because that's usually where our ideal clients land.
And B2C as well now.
Really? Okay, that's good to know, because I didn't know that, since I'm not in the B2C world. But yeah, that's good to know. So should I connect with people that are selling products? Like if they're the CEO of a makeup company, is that something you do, or you just follow them, or what do you do?
In terms of the job seeker or the small business owner?
The small business owner.
So for the small business owner, you want to connect with anyone who's a potential new client who perhaps went to your profile first, right? After we get your profile built and your brand is out there, because online, whatever's on your LinkedIn or your Facebook or your Insta, it's your brand, whether you like it or not, whether it's good or not. So once we get your brand established in LinkedIn, then you start pursuing leads that are the right people for you, the right customers, whether it's B2C or B2B, right? And we set up your LinkedIn profile in a very strategic way so that there are tons of keywords relevant to those customers looking for you who need your services or products. Okay. And we're doing reach out based on that as well. So it's not enough to just have a LinkedIn profile that's fabulous. You have to work it. You got to be active, because activity equals increased visibility on LinkedIn.
You're right.
So that's when people would come to you, Bonnie, and say, hey, help me with the social media aspect of LinkedIn and what I should be posting. Right. And doing so, once you have the brand established, then being active on LinkedIn, you will start to get more and more reach outs from the right people.
That's right. That's right. Oh, LinkedIn is a super powerhouse in my world. It was when I was an employee, and it is as an entrepreneur too. So that's great. No, I love that you can help people in both worlds, especially women in their second act, which, you and I both have the heart for. And then the mediumship, man, that's a whole nother Oprah, but I love that about you. Do you want to read me? No, just kidding.
I would
Is
love
my mom saying hi?
to do a reading for you. So
yes, I would love that.
In a nutshell, I don't just facilitate the communication between the client and spirit. I help establish a sense of presence. So that person actually feels closer. There's a sense of that comes over. And very often my clients are able to continue to have that sense of closeness with spirit
Ooh,
and do their own communication on their own without me.
nice. With
But
that ability, does that roll over into your kind of your day-to-day work already?
yes, it does.
I'd
Yes, and
say.
for many years, because of the bad reactions I got many, many years ago
Yeah,
when I realized I had this gift, I was afraid to
sure.
get the same bad reactions from people, and now I don't. People are
Ooh,
interested, hearts are more open. I think people are just realizing there's more to what we can see, touch, feel, and hear on this planet. There's
yeah,
more.
there
And
is. I
and
agree.
so I made the decision a couple of years ago that I don't care what people think anymore.
We do
Who
not
I am.
care. We do not
I
care
don't
anymore.
care.
We don't care.
And this is definitely my destiny work, and I
Oh,
use it in my work as a resume writer and LinkedIn profile writer. Um, as I'm very intuitive.
yeah.
I just know what the client needs to help them move forward.
True. We
So
talk a lot about intuition on this podcast too, because you have to listen to that inside voice or side person sitting by your side when it comes to looking for help in your business.
absolutely.
And I think you have an extra edge there, maybe. If you can have that power to connect with the other side, and is this the right move for me, or how do I get out of this? you
Yeah,
know if it's
definitely. We'll see.
bombing.
And then we see what spirit has to say. They're not going to give us all the answers. That's part of our
Right,
training, but
right.
they remain connected with us to guide us, which is really
Give you a
exciting.
feeling. I love that. Oh my gosh, that's an awesome, awesome thing for you. So, what I like to do at the end of a conversation is, you've been vulnerable with me and saying that you kind of sucked at delegation, but then again, on the flip, I've heard you delegate some things that worked out really well. So you don't suck. So I'll tell you that.
Thank you. Yes.
You did it. You did it. You were creative. You went to family. You knew when things weren't working and you just pivoted and figured out a new way to do it. That's a delegation pro, and you have that muscle. It may not be the 100-pound bodybuilder weight muscle, but you've built that muscle, and you know how to pivot and use your resources, and that's the whole game to this.
Oh,
So
thank you, Bonnie.
you're welcome. If there was a couple tidbits or tips that you might give people, like thinking about the big picture and where you're going, and how you're going to get there, and in regards to delegation or giving things and taking things off your plates and giving them to others, what might those two golden nuggets be for our audience today?
Oh man, and I've learned this over the years. And believe me, I am implementing everything I've learned about delegation in my new 111 spirit connection.
Yay. Good.
So I am for everyone out there, small business owners, anyone else, individuals, focus on where your gifts lie and the pieces that you are struggling to do or don't want to do. Those are the ones that you delegate, whether
Yep.
it's with a new system or process or AI or a partner business. Find the right resources and make it easy on yourself and
Yeah.
delegate, delegate, delegate.
I love it. Yes. We don't need the stress. I mean, stress causes so much health issue um, with that stress. And as an entrepreneur, and having delegated and not delegated and undelegated and all the things,
Exactly,
it's
exactly.
not fun. But when you get something off your plate, and even if it's a struggle, because you're like, only I can do this. And I'm thinking about you talking about, like, when you had brought a couple other people on to write resumes. Nobody writes them like me. People are connecting with me because they want me, and then realizing they don't write like me. This is my zone of genius. I need to keep this part of the business, but maybe my bookkeeping or maybe my social media can go to somebody else.
Right.
um, I've come to that realization many times. So kudos again on that. But is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up for the day?
Yeah. So back in the day when I started my resonating resumes business, I was, I really thought I had to do it all myself because number one, I wasn't bringing in the money yet, right?
Sure.
It
Hmm.
wasn't an unbridled success like it is now. And I wasn't in demand yet like I am now.
Nice.
So I felt like I couldn't hire people to help me. I couldn't bring in someone to help me with my books. I couldn't hire a marketing person. What I should have done all those years ago, and it really would have made a difference for me and taken stress off me so much, is
Mhm.
get a loan. Just get a loan and pay someone
Ooh,
to help you. Be
yeah.
true to who you really are. And for the pieces that you really hate or you're really bad at, get help. There's resources out there.
Yeah,
Talk-
and if they're good at what they do, you'll make back that money and be able to make your loan payments.
Absolutely. That will happen. I have no doubt. I was
Yeah,
just so fearful. I had a
same.
money block, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we have lots of us have money blocks, especially when you're getting started. Yeah. You're
Yeah,
like, I don't want debt in my business. You have that a lot of times, but sometimes that old adage of sometimes you gotta pay money to make money or something,
that's
and
very
that's
true.
not untrue
I agree.
sometimes. Yeah. And it is scary. But
The
listen to one of my past guests talk about money bugaboos.
yes. Oh, yes, and we should all be thinking about that. But
Yeah, that's definitely a mind shift for
yeah,
sure.
the other thing I haven't talked about at all
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
connecting with the right people, right?
Mm. Hmm.
So Second Act Women was a fabulous place for me to start that
Yes.
process because
Yes.
someone, even though I can be very extroverted, I am also someone who is a homebody, and I
Same.
sit at my little computer and type resumes and write LinkedIn profiles till the cows come home and not go anywhere, right? So
Yeah.
when I discovered Second Act Women, then I started really reaching out and building more of a network. And that
Yes.
network of women, like yourself, Bonnie, like Shelley
Mhm.
Johnson,
Yes.
has become my people, has become the energy that I need when I need it, has
Yeah.
become the resource network that I know any help I need, I can go to that group or that community, and find it.
Oh,
It's made a huge difference
I
building
think
your
my mom was talking to you because you're just like saying what I say. I think somebody's talking to you up there. I know it. Because
Download.
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
Mine, and I've talked about this before on the podcast too. It's your network.
Mhm.
And because once you start to establish a network of trusted people that are your people, like we have in Second Act Women, and they just fit whatever you are, guys can have bro code, whatever they go with.
Mhm. Mhm.
Find your people, and then you'll start to build the trust and the camaraderie, and it
Yeah,
won't be so scary to hand parts of your business off, right?
absolutely. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm doing that right now with another group that I'm involved in from Cami Gildner's
Yeah.
Ignite conference.
Cammie's been a guest on the pod.
I know, I
You'll
know.
see her too. So yes.
And I
Yeah.
went to the last Ignite conference earlier this,
Oh, fantastic.
and I owned my mediumship and I announced it to the world at that
Nice.
conference, 150, I don't know,
Oh,
200 women, and I've had nothing but 100% support, and
cool.
so grateful to have found this group as well. This is another
Oh,
community that are resources beyond measure that I'm going to
oh,
be looking into for sure.
I definitely want to look into that myself now.
Next
I
November.
actually, it started to speak to me a little more this year. Like I learned about it last year, started to speak to me more, especially after having, connected a bit more with Cami through Second Act Women and this other group that both she and I belong to called the Dames.
Yes,
And so connecting with her, it's like, like, hey, what's pulling us together in these two different places? That says something,
yes,
it's saying that we need to get together more. I mean, I believe in that spirit telling me that, like, it's
yes.
something the fates are speaking. We
And
need to get together.
you know that Cami is an extraordinary coach to women entrepreneurs. That's
She
what she
is.
she's
Yes.
amazing, and that's what
She's
this is
amazing.
all
She
about.
uses horses too, and I love equine therapy. I have a niece that does it. It's awesome.
Yes,
So, man, we could go on for hours and speak in Cammie's glories, but I'll let the people go, and you and I can chit chat some more. But I just want to thank you so much for being here today, Lisa. I have learned so much more about you, which is great. I can't believe we haven't had more time to chat. Uh, but I mean, I think we've dropped some great nuggets, and thanks for the vulnerability in saying, I sucked, but I got better. And that's all we can do, especially
absolutely.
when, your mindset's not there, but meeting the right people and growing through just experience and lessons learned, you can get to that next level. So Have a great day, everybody. Delegate to elevate and resonate and get things done. Get done. Who cares? Get it done. Get done, like and subscribe to my channel. Leave me some comments. Tell me if you want to learn more about Lisa, but I will leave all the contact information that she shared here down in the notes for y'all. And have a great day. Thanks, everybody. Bye, Lisa.
Bye.
So that's it for today's episode of Delegate to Elevate. Head on over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen and subscribe to the show. One lucky listener every single week that posts a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing to win a $15,000 private VIP day with Bonnie herself. Be sure to head on over to delegatetoelevatepodcast.com. That's with the number 2. And pick up a free copy of Bonnie's gift and join us on the next episode.